What's up, y'all? Welcome to the CrossForge Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Patrick Ryan, otherwise known as Huge Cow Patty, or HCP for short. Tonight, I am joined by the board, basically, of CrossForge Gaming. Let's start here with Darman. Say hi.
I didn't ruin the opening. Hello.
Yay! Congratulations. Although now it's kind of expected of you, and so people are going to be mad that you didn't do it. So, way to ruin. You ruined it anyway. By not ruining it, you ruined it. Way to go.
Blast. You can't win. You can't win.
Yeah, nope, you sure can't. And we got Mr. Jimmy Bones and Charmander in the background there. And, of course, our one and only regular, other than me, Anifix.
Hi.
Although I hear he's going to mess that up on Monday. So,
It's for a good cause.
you know what I just realized? Monday's Memorial Day. Am I really going to record on Memorial Day? Probably. I don't know. We'll discuss that later. Real quick, just because it's kind of big news in the kind of internet gaming community, and because I don't want to drop bad news in the middle of everything. I do have to. Probably everybody knows by the time that you'll see this, because this won't be up till tomorrow. But YouTuber Total Biscuit, even if you haven't seen any of his videos, like myself, you know who he is, no doubt. He stopped doing his YouTube videos not that long ago, and announced that he had terminal cancer. And unfortunately, today his wife announced that he has passed away. She put up something on Twitter, and his Twitter account just has a picture of him with rest in peace, and then the dates that he was around with us. And actually, we were noticing, I realized he was young, but he was actually very, very young. He was born on July 8th, 1984, and his passing today, on the day that we're recording this, is May 24th. And actually, Assad was commenting that he's only 5 days older. Total Biscuit, his real name, John Peter Bain, was only 5 days older than Assad is. So he was very young, and we want to remember the people that he left behind in prayer. So keep his friends and family in prayer, and his fans. I'm sure he had a pretty big impact on a lot of the people that watched him at home. So, all right, yeah. So that was that. We're not trying to be callous or anything. We're sad to see him go, but we do have a podcast, and the show must go on. So let's start with Josh. Josh, how you been? What's going on?
Well, the loss of Total Biscuit has really impacted me. He was one of the first people I looked up to and admired in the YouTube community, and helped inspire me to do the videos I did when I was in high school. So, and his influence in Gamergate throughout many political spheres is truly a great loss to me. Other than that, though, life goes on.
Yeah, it's I was never the type to when somebody famous would pass away, even if it was somebody that I enjoyed their work, to get all choked up. And I used to, maybe this was really judgy of me, but I used to be like, why in the world are all these people as upset as they are about it? Not that you're upset, but that you're as upset as you are about this person you've never met. And then I experienced it for myself when Satoru Iwata passed away, the former president of Nintendo. And then it was like, oh, this is what that feels like.
They generate a certain emotion with you. You connect so many memories to this person, the face of David Bowie. Name any pop artist that's passed away in the last 10-15 years, and see that people had strong ties to these people.
Dolores O'Riordan
from the
Cranberries.
Yep, that's right. That was January, wasn't it?
It was earlier this year.
Yeah.
So, all right, Jimmy, how you been doing?
Exhausted, tired, frustrated, angry, all the normal things.
So it's just Thursday.
Yeah, basically. I mean, past couple of days have been really, really, really rough. So I don't really care to go on about it.
All right. Well, moving on. How you doing, Anifix?
Well, I keep getting stuff piled on me at work, so that's fun.
I mean, you're valuable, right?
Yeah, a little too valuable. I think if I were to leave the job, they'd probably crumble and cease to exist.
Oh, wow. I hope they pay you like that.
They're working on it. I
Well,
hope.
that's good.
But other than that, I ate like 12 slices of pizza tonight and got this stupid little fidget spinner from a gumball machine, and yeah, that's how my night's been going.
Are the pizza slices and the gumball machine related somehow?
I was at a CC,
Okay.
so it happened
Dude, I
at the
love
same
CCs.
place. Yeah, we had a fundraiser for the youth ministry I'm a part of.
Oh, Cece's is awful, man.
No, like you want to go somewhere and pay $4 for some nasty, greasy pizza? That's where you do it.
Yeah,
if
and
you
it's
want to pay
awesome.
$4 for pepperoni on a slice of notebook paper, that's where you go.
I mean, hey, I can fit 100 of those notebook papers in my stomach. Thank you.
Heck
very
yeah,
That's where it's at.
yeah. It just sounds more impressive when you say, "Yeah, I just ate 12 slices of pizza." What?
Yeah, that you only had like a light snack.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love how much, like, because of what part of your head that thing cuts out, how much of like a weird Star Trek alien you look like right now.
Then my job is done.
It's fantastic. I am eagerly waiting the arrival of my son for the summer. My wife left this morning to go get him. I would have gone, but I had to work. When you have a new job, they don't like letting you off for silly things like going and picking your kid up 8 hours away. So I had to work, but she's on her way back. She'll be home sometime after we're done recording the podcast. I normally would be asleep at that time, but the house is kind of a mess. I was supposed to clean it this morning before I went to work, but I was working on this podcast, getting all the notes and stuff ready. So I didn't do any of the cleaning. So I get to do that when we finish with this. So that's what I'll be doing. But yeah, I'm excited to have him down here and things like that. All right.
I'm glad to bring him up, visit with my kids.
Let me think. We can maybe we'll talk about that. I don't know. My work doesn't let me do any fun.
Yeah, mine either.
So, all right, let's get on into the news. So tonight, the night that we're recording this, actually, the reason why some of the people who would have maybe normally agreed to be on are not on tonight is because Solo is out. Lots of people are watching it. Well, maybe lots of people. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Solo is expected to be the lowest opening Star Wars movie since Walt Disney bought Lucasfilm, which I don't think surprises anybody.
That doesn't mean a whole lot though, because the other ones made so much money. Not making as much might still be quite a bit of money.
That's true, but
Even a Disney failure is still a Disney movie.
I mean, that's true.
And for the record, I'm not going to see this. I have no interest in it. It's stupid, and it was the worst idea for a movie since Sausage Party.
I can't agree with that. They already told us several years ago. This has been planned and written.
Okay. It's the worst idea to happen a year prior to Sausage Party.
Something tells me the timing of it wasn't what Josh was disagreeing with. But
Well, that's the point. That's why I had to drive it home that it was a bad idea in a dumb movie, in a dumb
Really?
franchise.
Okay, all right,
Well,
Mr.
okay.
Bias.
all right.
We can't all be Gene Roddenberry, all right?
I don't like Gene Roddenberry. He was a prick. He was a
You're
drunk,
right.
and he was a drug user.
Wow. I
And
did
made
not know
probably the most successful sci-fi series ever.
No, not necessarily the most successful. It's the longest lasting. I would argue that there have been many sci-fi series that were actually more successful, quote unquote. My problem with Star Wars isn't Star Wars in and of itself. When I was a kid, space opera, amazing. I loved it. I watched the first 3. That's episode 4 through whatever. 3 million times. I can quote the movie front to back, that entire trilogy. But the problem is now everybody can. And this isn't one of those hipster, oh, I liked it before it was cool kind of things. This was, how many times do I have to see Robot Chicken and Family Guy act out every single Star Wars movie? How many times do I have to see this, that, and the other. These references, they make it to where there's oversaturation. It's just like listening to Metallica on the radio. I can't listen to them anymore because they're always on the damn radio. Like Nickelback at this point. Star Wars is the Nickelback of sci-fi.
I understand what you're saying, because there's some people, like, I don't know, like Robot Chicken isn't necessarily spoofing Star Wars so much as they're just recreating scenes from the movie, but with action figures, and then adding like a joke or two in here. And it's like, that's not really a spoof. I don't know what that is. It's entertaining once or twice, but I definitely see what you're getting at. It's
just oversaturation.
Yeah, it's like when there were 900 Guitar Heroes coming out in one year.
Okay, well, I will say this. I will say this, and this goes back to our first conversation in episode 1 of the reboots of the CFG Next Generation, whatever. With the way that Star Wars has become oversaturated and no longer fun, I'm pretty sure at some point Marvel is going to become oversaturated and no more fun.
You mean it hasn't already?
Well, it almost got there with Wakanda. That was an awful movie.
I think objectively speaking, it wasn't. Like, by every scoreboard that you can, any metric you can come up with, it was not bad.
You don't have to talk about metrics, because metrics, look, man, metrics mean that blockbusters will always make money. Okay, this was well marketed towards a very specific subset of people, to include neeks and gurks, nerds and geeks, and certain demographics. Okay, and we knew it was going to be a blockbuster. We knew it was going to make money simply because that's what it was designed to do. It was I'm not going to say a brainless kind of deal, because there's always some sort of message behind it. But everybody knew it was going to make money. But making money does not a good movie make. I mean, look at the damn new Star Wars movies. They're freaking awful, and yet they make tons of money. Titanic was awful. It made tons of money. Avatar was horrendous. It made tons of money. And I'm not talking about the Airbender movie. I actually, even though it was a bad movie, I actually really enjoyed it.
Wait, whoa, hold up, stop for 1 second there.
Uh-oh.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes.
You enjoyed that.
I enjoy almost everything Shyamalama Ding Dong makes.
So you have about the same taste in movies that Patrick has in music with Kesha.
Okay, actually, hold on a minute. Now
no, we just gotta level it out.
Hold on. Some have said that it's because I saw the movie before I ever saw the cartoon, and that's why that's why I'm about to say what I'm about to say. But I didn't think the last Airbender movie was terrible either. I didn't think it was great, but it wasn't terrible.
Okay, well, to be fair, I didn't watch The Last Airbender, the series, until about 2.5, 3 years ago.
That's about when I watched it, yeah.
It was okay. I enjoyed it. I think there are some things they could have done better. I think there's some things that they could have done much worse on, including Legend of Korra, which was they could have done a whole lot better.
I didn't think Legend of Korra was that good at all.
I thought it was fine.
But
I disagree. Korra was mostly good until like the last several episodes.
Yeah.
Because I was okay with the bending and the steampunk. I thought that was cool. I think it was neat to see the natural progression of time. But they did things with the characters that made just no sense.
Yep, absolutely agreed. And that's part of why the movie was so terrible. Not to mention the fact of its awful pacing, terrible choreography.
Well, let's put it this way, man. I've seen it once, and I didn't hate it. It's not something. No, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm only going to watch things. Well, no, it's not because I think it's a waste. It's because it did not resonate with me enough to warrant a second viewing. Unlike, say, something that I am very emotionally invested in, such as Infinity War or the X-Files series, which I watch literally all the way through front to back at least once a year, or every single Star Trek series I watch front to back at least once a year, because those are things that resonate with me, and it's a safe program. Let's put it that way. I know what I'm going to get. I know I'm going to enjoy it. But back to the point at hand, the metrics don't matter. The Black Panther movie was bad. I mean, I'm not saying that it wasn't enjoyable from people's perspectives. I like some really bad movies. I loved Battle Los Angeles, and that movie was absolutely terrible.
The movie's great, and yes, it's terrible.
I am one of the 3 or 4 people who actually liked the Battleship movie, despite the fact that it was just terrible. I enjoyed Chronicle. There's a lot of really, really bad movies out there that are worth watching and people enjoy. Black Panther is worth a watch. It is not a good movie. And by the standards of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the effort that they put into everything they do, discounting, of course, the first 2 Hulk movies, the effort that they put in the graphics and the design and the story and the presentation and the combat, it just does not stack up. And the characters were extremely one-dimensional. And again, they did things with characters that made 0 sense, particularly with T'Challa. And him, and in and of itself, I think that they disrespected his character. Not his character, Black Panther, in the comics. He's a straight-up asshole in the comics. T'Challa is not a nice guy in the comics. And he's very straight-faced and everything in the movie, the guy who plays him. And I feel like a jerk, but I don't remember his name off the top of my head, because all I can think of is...
Chadwick Boseman.
That's right, because every time I think of it, I think of Michael B. Jordan for some reason or another.
Who was in that movie?
He was.
The other guy.
Well, he stole the show.
Oh yeah.
He was great for that role, and I really think they should not have killed him. I think they should have turned him into one of the other ancillary characters that are in the Black Panther mythos. That would have been just amazing to have him there.
Well, side note, real quick, just because you mentioned that, the director of Black Panther, who is on board to direct other Black Panther movies, has said that they're going to utilize Michael B. Jordan's character in future films. I don't have any idea what that means since he's dead, but he's not gone. Like, maybe it'll be a spin-off movie. I have no idea, but
I don't like that idea. But
I don't like that idea either. But
let's bad things that they did with characters. Okay, for instance, look at T'Challa himself. Okay, he spends this entire movie literally brutally fighting for a dictatorial crown, saying that they're going to remain inward, very homogenous. They're not going to share anything. They're not going to do anything. And he argues against his number one rival, the big baddie, who's supposed to be all amazing and everything. And he's been arguing this entire time against his sister, who's been saying, oh, we can help all these people, blah, blah, blah. And then at the last second, he just changes his mind like that. Now, remember, in Civil War, he didn't even want his father, T'Chaka, to be stepping out the way he did. So for him to just suddenly change his mind after brutally murdering the guy who has been fighting to change the national policy, to just change his mind like that makes no sense. And the fight scenes were poorly choreographed. And what was the point in having that big fight with the elephants or rhinoceri or whatever? And then they tried to pull a Civil War Hawkeye versus Black Widow thing with the bald lady general and the gruff husband of bald lady general. And I'm sorry, I don't remember these characters' names. The movie
I'm enjoying this.
It did not resonate. It did not seem like they really actually respected these characters enough to treat them right.
So other than the things like the choreography and stuff like that, most of the story points that most of them, not all of them, most of the story points you bring, to me, that's just the problem with origin movies. And I realize Black Panther's not really a Black Panther origin movie since he was introduced in Civil War, but it is a Wakanda origin movie. And I just think introduction movies, like, most of the time, not all the time, because like Iron Man 1 is a great movie and I really liked Thor 1, but the first Captain America is a snooze. I just sleep through that. Doctor Strange was way better than I ever thought it would be, but it's still an origin movie that I didn't think was fantastic.
They threw him in the deep end too fast.
Yeah.
But
I think that's the problem with origin movies, is you've got to very quickly introduce this character and then get him to the climax or whatever it is. So anyway, Josh, you look like you wanted to say a couple.
He looks like he's about to explode.
Sorry. Go. You have the floor. In fact, I'm going to just put you up on the camera. There, it's yours. Go.
Okay, so literally every point you made about the plot is why the movie was so good. Because he grew as a character. He was a dynamic character that analyzed the situation. Yes, they were isolationists doing very America things. Very America pre-World War II. right? Leaning towards
Mm.
isolation. Take
Well-
care of our people, right?
I'm gonna have to throw some history at you in a minute.
Oh.
Keep going.
It was prior to one of the world wars. Don't tell me which one.
British history.
It's very American things at any rate. And then he sees Killmonger, it's more than just I'm going to take over the country. It's I'm going to put forth black supremacy, and Wakandans are going to be on top of everything.
See,
You know,
and that was
as
just the
opposed-
worst possible villain. I mean, it was just so obvious.
It,
I
it
mean-
was a flat villain, very straightforward in design, but just morally ambiguous enough to people with no morals that it was a good character.
That's indicting a lot of people, Josh.
Yeah?
Really, really, really is indicting a lot of people. Yeah, I don't like that description.
Probably not the best choice of words, but at any rate, so you have guy who wants to flip the tables on every country, start civil wars in every other country, and T'Challa sees that there's some merit in integrating with these other countries. You know,
Okay, so tell me this. Why then did he not adopt his father's opinion to peaceably integrate? Why did he not follow his sister? Why did it take a
Because-
guy who is a rampant
he was
Black
still
national.
pissed about his father. His father literally just died.
What's your
Literally.
point? Are you
It's
trying
part of-
to tell me that in the lead up to Black Panther, that his dad had only decided for like 5 seconds, hey, I think today I'm just going to casually walk down to the Sokovia Accord signing and say, hey, we're going to integrate and get in on this. And just because of this little 30-second thing, just before I get blown up, by the way, I'm going to tell you to start integrating the country. You don't think that his dad, even going all the way back to the flashbacks in Black Panther itself, that his dad wasn't already starting to lean towards the open borders sort of policies? Not open borders, maybe that's the wrong word, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Why don't you think that he would have raised T'Challa in that mannerism? Because his daughter obviously already has that. His sister obviously already has that mindset. Or-
I don't think T'Chaka was showing that leaning in Civil War. What we see from T'Challa's perspective is that this is the whole reason why we don't meddle in outside affairs and why we stick inside. People
Okay, so
go out-
that makes sense. So
That-
why
that's-
suddenly does it change when? Okay, let's put it this way. Do you think that we, as a nation, would have drastically changed our policy to suddenly be friendly with everybody when we got bombed at Pearl Harbor? Because that's basically what Killmonger was. He was bombing Pearl Harbor, the Wakandan Pearl Harbor. Do you think that because we got bombed and because they got attacked, that we should just suddenly change everything, our whole policy?
It's more akin to Civil War, like the actual 1860s Civil War, as an issue, right?
I can
Because-
see some parallels, but it's not the greatest simile. And I think this argument would be great for another time because I think Patrick still has an agenda.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
pick
no,
this up.
no.
Let's
I
pick
think
this
it's
up.
great.
This is
No,
great.
I'm just waiting for a dead spot so I can jump back in and go. So Solo's gonna suck, and then move on.
I agree. Solo sucked from conception. So
Screw y'all. I'm still going to it.
Anyway,
you do that. I'm just happy to be here. That's all I'm saying.
no, it's good.
I made you.
Yeah. So the point is, even if Solo bombs, it's a Disney bomb, so it's still gonna make money. And
$250 million this weekend. I put it in the bank.
It'll do that.
I
All
mean,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so as other things, EA has acquired GameFly streaming tech. Gonna be honest, didn't know GameFly streamed games. I thought they just did games by mail. So this was news to me.
GameFly is Netflix of the future, sir.
Yeah, well, right, but like you got games in the mail though, didn't you?
Well,
At
you
one
got
point,
DVDs in the mail.
Well, right.
I was
I
not
just-
expecting that.
That is.
Thank
So anyway, so that's a thing. Now, according to the Engadget article that I'm getting this information from, EA, like I said, EA has only acquired the streaming technology. They have not acquired the company, and they've acquired some of GameFly's personnel. So GameFly, if you have a GameFly subscription, EA's supposedly not going to be meddling in your GameFly subscription. So if you're somebody that is like, oh, EA's doing something, I don't know about this. Worry about
so you mean?
yeah, but I don't have a GameFly subscription, so I don't care. But yeah, so that's going on. We also found out that NBC Sports, who hosted the Rocket League tournament last year, they're doing it again this year. So that's pretty cool. And if you live in Japan, you can now get a Switch without a dock. No idea if that'll come over here to the West, but that is a thing. So there you go.
Wow, predictions. Nice.
Yeah. So all right, let me actually do this properly because I have this live read for my Twitch Prime that I haven't been using, and I bothered to write it, so I should read it. So let me get it up here. Let's see, Twitch Prime. Let me open it here. That's the beauty of live read is I don't know. I don't know why I said that. I talk and I feel dead air. All right. Are you tired of an advertisement for something you probably don't want, separating you from watching your CFG Twitch streamer? Feeling left out when all your friends use cool exclusive emoticons that you don't have access to? Then Twitch Prime is the service for you. Twitch Prime members get to watch their favorite Twitch streams like As Played by Ned or Jackbox Party Pack Nights without having to sit through ads, get access to free games and in-game content, exclusive emoticons to use in chat, a free subscription to one Twitch partnered or affiliated channel, and Twitch Prime members only chat badge, so you can stand out in the chat and make all your friends break the 10th commandment. And if you're wondering, the 10th commandment is thou shalt not covet. Twitch Prime members also get Amazon Prime, giving you access to free 2-day shipping and eligible purchases from Amazon.com, Amazon Prime Music, and Amazon Prime Instant Video. CrossForge Gaming also happens to be an Amazon affiliate, giving you more ways to support CFG by doing things you already do anyway. So click the link below in the description of the podcast or this video to try Twitch Prime free for 30 days. All righty, let's get into...
That was so cheesy, man. Come on.
I know. It's what I have. Okay, so